Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Mr. Diary Bet Predict. In today's video, I'll be discussing with you guys about the prediction of over 1.5 goal, and I'll be picking some games in this particular video at least to let you people have some tips for today. And in case you want the code, you can also get into the YouTube membership of this particular channel and access the code. Actually, I discovered or recent that over 1.5 goal is actually working out so well when it comes to betting prediction. But don't forget, I always tell you guys that we cannot always have 100% betting accuracy. Now, I'm going to show you something in this particular video. If you check this video very well, this particular video, it happens to be 4 odd. Yes, 4 odd, and everything ended up as over 1.5 goals except a particular match under the Denmark league that ended up as a 1-0. One thing about this strategy is that I use it for rollover when it comes to predicting. I use it to predict over 0.5. This particular strategy of over 1, I use it to predict over 0.5, and that over 0.5 happens to be a rollover odd. And now coming to another level, I use this particular strategy with a little modification to predict my first half over 0.5. I know that you guys are aware that predicting first half is like taking a risk, and also it comes with a great reward with when it comes to odd. Because for example, if you can check this particular game very well, there are some odds that are above 1.20 odds. These are recent games they just played this midnight, and you know, so that's how the over 1.5 relate with some other strategies like over 0.5 and first half over 0.5. So what I will do in this particular video is just that I will do a brief selection of how I do my over 1.5 goals, not full. In case you want to follow us in our masterclass tutorial group, it's either you join us on our YouTube membership or you access our Telegram channel. So guys, let's move on. So now the first thing you need to do is to recognize leagues that score goals very well. By recognizing leagues that score goals very well, that will save lots of your time. It will save a lot of your time, and surely you'll be able to predict your game with convenience. Within short period of time, you are picking your over 1.5 goals. And note, please, not all strategies are always 100% accurate. As I always tell you guys, please make sure that you engage in responsible gambling, because by sticking with amounts that you can afford to lose, even though strategies are really working out so well, we cannot always be in control of the games every time. Now, as you guys can see, most of the outcome of this particular game ended up as over 1.5, even over 2.5 in some cases. Now let us move on to the bet our bet menu, our sports menu, and let's select some leagues that we can approach as over 1.5 goals. So now let's go for today's games. We have 652 games for today's, but I'm going to select some leagues alone. So for example, let's assume that I want to go for, actually, if not, because most of our leagues are currently ending their season and they'll be starting in the next few months. But Premier League happens to be a very fantastic league that has been scoring goals this season. Even in fact, this particular season happens to be the highest scoring season for now, since I've been, I'm not someone that usually follow football history like that, but I observe something that the score goes very well now. But I checked the stats and I realized that the game does not meet the requirement of predicting as over 1.5 goals. But under the Spanish league, they too sometimes their goal scoring always fluctuates. But I have a particular game here that actually meets the requirement of predicting as over 1.5 goals. Now check our Real Betis and Ameria, and I'll go to the start. One thing I want you guys to observe is that Ameria happens to be a team that concede goals very well. They concede very well. In the last previous games, they only decided not to concede goal in their last match. In the last match, and Most of the last 5 games always ended up as over 1.5 goals, except in one. At least we have some match that ended up as at least 80% of their games ended up as over 1.5 goals. And moving further to check the last previous meeting, in the last match they played with Real Betis, that is the only aspect that ended. That's the only aspect that ended up as 0-0, that is under 0.5. And checking the previous games, then you can realize that the game ended up as mostly as over 1.5 goals. And judging by the form of the away team, which happens to be Almeria, and currently they are below the league table, so they the stats we are checking right now give us the insight, the full insight. Even this particular game can also end up as over 2.5 goals. Yes, let me even check the odd for that. So the odd for the over 2.5 goals happens to be 1.54, but the odd for the 1.5 is at 1.17. And going further for the save strategy, when it comes like you want to predict your rollover tips, you can go for over 0.5. But when you are going extremely, like you want to go extreme hard, you want to take a risk, you go for over 2. You want to go normal, intermediate, you go for over 1. And you want to go safe, you go for over 0.5. Now let's check the next games and the next league that you can also use to predict over 1.5 goals game. Another league that I like to predict my over 1.5 goals at happens to be the Netherlands League and the Portugal League. I have a particular match there that means the requirement of predicting this particular game as over 1.5 goals. Now, checking the Benfica versus FC Aroca game, checking their last previous games, you are going to see the factors that I always consider when it comes to predicting over 1.5 goals. Only unfortunate that in the last game of the away team, they only played 0-0. But checking the rest of the games, most times it ended up as over 1.5 goals. And looking further for to the home team's games, there happens to be a dangerous teams unless in the last previous games that they lost by 2 goals to nothing. And checking their previous meeting, the home team has always been winning the games most times and has always been, when they win with clean sheets. And surely in this particular game, I'm expecting a clean sheet for the home team, but surely the most important aspect and the most important prediction here and the market here happens to be over 1.5 goals, because checking the last 5 games, you can see that most times it ended up as over 1.5 goals, and checking their previous games with other opponents, it ended up as over 1.5 goals once in a while. And that's why I said you cannot always be in control of games. Imagine a team that has been scoring over 1.5 goals in the last 4 games and ended up playing 0-0 in their last game. It happens very well in betting, and you cannot always win every time, but at least we must make sure that our winning chance is very high. So the bookmakers too, they always have their own research, because I can there's a particular match that Madrid played with is it Rayo Vallecano or something like that, that the bookmakers were giving Real Madrid 3 odds and giving the home team 2 odds. I was like, what's going on? It was later when the match started that I discovered that the bookmakers are already aware of the teams, of the players, and the plans of the club before the match starts. I was wondering, but when the match started, I discovered that the away team, which happens to be Real Madrid, didn't use most of their key players. They won that particular match by 1 goals to nothing that day, and before at the start of the game, they were pressed, like the home team pressed them, because I was wow. Now I realize that these bookmakers, they always make further research, when it comes to allocating market to each match. They allocate markets to match after doing their own research. They know the objective of the teams, they know their plans, they know if they want to rest player, they know players. Like, I don't know how they get all those information before they allocate markets. It was just unfortunate that Madrid eventually win that particular match that day. So that's how it is. Checking the market of the over 1.5 goals here, you can see that the bookmakers are already aware that teams that are playing this particular game, they have the high probability of winning this particular match by over 1.5 goals. So that's why they always allocate small odds to some games that they know that okay, they don't want to be on the losing side. I made a video on how you can calculate the probability of a particular match using calculating method by calculating the odds and with hundreds and something like that. Now let us check the other leagues that we can go for, which I called I said Netherlands League the other time. Yes, Netherlands League. Under the Netherlands League, I did my analysis on their previous on their matches, and it was it happens to be just one match out of all these games that they are playing today. It happens to be just one match that made the requirement and the analysis of me predicting the game as over 1.5 goals, because I always look at the common factors. And what is the common factor? The trends in their previous games. I always want to know if these teams are scoring goals very well. Yes, the score goes very well in the Netherlands League, and if you choose the right team, you are surely going to get it done. And let's see the odd provided by the bookmakers for the over 1.5 goals. This odd happens to be 1.18 odd. So, guys, we have the Premier League, but currently the match they are playing today, surely I should be expecting more than one goals in the match. But for me, don't forget, I always tell you guys that when I'm using a strategy, I always follow the strategy. Even if I know that the game we are expecting more than one goals in it, I always follow the strategy. It is discipline when it comes to using strategies. That is the match between Arsenal and Manchester United. Using natural, without following the statistics and just mere looking at it, surely everybody will be expecting more than one goals in that particular match. And for me, following the statistics, I believe the match should not end up as over 1.5. And if it ended up as over 1.5, that is the dynamism of sport betting and the sport that involves the activities of human being. We change, anything change. So you following the statistics also, it only gives us the high chance and high probability of winning our game, but it is not giving us the 100% certainty that the game is going to come out that way. So we are only trying our 90%, 95% probability of the outcome. The 5% of it can actually end up as the can cut our ticket. So make sure that you stick with a month that you can afford, so that you can enjoy the fun in this. So another league that I would like to introduce you guys to when it comes to predicting over 1.5 goals. Let's go for German league. Yes, German league, the score goes very well, but checking the major leagues that they are meant to play, I decided not to go for them because I checked the start and it's not coming the way I want it. But a particular match I actually made the requirement of predicting as over 1.5. There are situations whereby these particular games sometimes can end up as whereby they play probably maybe the first goal in the first half, maybe around 10 minutes. You'll be like, wow, you'll be expecting a winning already. I think many people can relate about that. Maybe in a situation whereby you predict a particular game as over 1.5, and at the first 10 minutes of the game, the first 10 minutes or the first 5 minutes, they score the first goal. You'll be expecting the second goal in that first half until 90 minutes. That should be like, wow, since first half they've never scored. And we have some teams like that they will play that 1-0 till the game's end. It happens. That is sport for you. So guys, another leagues that I want you guys to note down about predicting over 1.5 goals happens to be the German league. So under the German league, checking the particular stats, you have to look for the current, trends in their over 1.5 games. If you check these particular games very well, they play over 1.5 goals very well, and in their previous history, goals always occur almost every time. So that's the simple factors and the simple strategy in it. So if you want to full in-depth analysis and knowledge about this particular current trending over 1.5 goal strategy, guys, just go to this particular channel, just look down, you are going to see a join button, and let's say you just want to search for my channel. So here is my channel, and you can just search for Mr. Adi Ayobet, and by searching for Mr. Adi Ayobet, you are going to see my channel. It's very easy to recognize. This is the logo and this is the name. You can search for any of our strategy and watch it, or watch by watching this video. Let's assume you are currently watching this video. So joining our membership only requires this, because if you are watching as you are watching this video currently, just check below. You are going to see this particular button. So this particular button of join is what you are clicking on, and access our perks for joining our YouTube memberships. So you are going to see one which is masterclass tutorial group. That is where I'm going to teach you guys the accurate over 1.5 goal betting strategy, highly accurate when it comes to predicting over 1.5 betting strategy. So join us on our YouTube membership by clicking the join button, and if you want to be receiving notification, make sure you click on this bell button, so that whenever I drop our next strategy on this particular channel, you are going to access it easily. So guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video content. These are their best predicted. Don't forget to like our video, share, and also if you are just joining us, make sure you subscribe to this particular channel. See you guys in the next video. Bye.